Let's have a little chat about progress. So as dancers, we know there's always things that we can keep working on and getting better at. Like if you have 2 pirouettes, you're trying to get to 3. If you have good leaps, you learn harder leaps, more advanced things. But sometimes it's hard to actually track our progress when we're trying to get from point A to point B and actually achieve our goals. So this video is giving you some insight into how to actually track your progress, how to do that at home, and maybe on your own, maybe with a friend, maybe in class. And so I hope today's video is helpful for you. I'll give you a few tips that you can start doing this week. So let's get started. So first of all, how can we define progress? Progress might be something such as technique improvements, performance enhancement, higher competition scores. It might be your confidence. It might be your body awareness. There are a lot of different ways that we can define progress in dance. A lot of times we focus just on the external things, such as like getting to the next level in a jazz class or getting your point shoes. All of those things are great things to celebrate and work towards. But what happens when we have the in-between part of all of these different goals? How do we measure if we're actually getting closer to our goal of getting our point shoes? Rather than relying on an external source like your teacher, there are ways that you can actually figure this out yourself and track your own progress as well. So some of the things that I want you to think about are what I just said about the technique, confidence, body awareness, whatever that might be. And then now let's think about how we can actually track our progress, and I'll give you some examples too. One of my favorite ways to actually track your progress is called journaling. And a lot of times we think of journaling as things to like get all of our feelings out. Sometimes we do have feelings about dance that are helpful to talk about, but other times when we're prioritizing our journaling and taking notes, maybe journaling is happening in your phone, maybe it's happening in an actual like physical notebook. Maybe it's just a form of like talking it out with a friend or something. But journaling can be really effective in actually determining how you're feeling, being proud of yourself for the things that you're accomplishing, identifying the things that you want to keep working on, and then actually the best part about journaling, in my opinion, is looking back on your progress from the very beginning, the first journal entry to the last, and seeing what a big difference that you have created in your technique and your confidence in whatever that goal might be. The next way to achieve some progress goals is by doing some filming. Now, some of us don't like to be on camera. Some of us might not have a phone or a recording device that we can use to track our progress. Maybe your dance classes don't actually allow phones during class, whatever that may look like for you. But sometimes filming can be really helpful to look at your past technique and then look at how you can achieve it and how you can make it better in the future. So one of the things I like to do, especially with the dancers that I work with one-on-one, is I look at, okay, let's look at this footage. Let's take a recording, take a video, and then I want you to watch it back. Tell me what you see. And maybe they see a couple things that they might need to fix, like pointing their toes or straightening their legs all the way, or like eyes up during a leap. But the best part is when I can look at that video and I can say, okay, here's what I'm seeing. Now I want you to try to fix that by doing this. And that's where some of that coaching comes into play a little bit more. But what it's helpful for is, again, looking back and seeing what maybe your leap looked like week 1, and then what your leap looked like by week 6. And being able to celebrate that progress with a before and after video is really helpful to just give yourself some credit, right? Give yourself some celebrations. I think that's really important. And a lot of dancers, I feel like, don't fully celebrate their achievements all the time because we're always thinking about the next thing. The last way that you can work on goals and track progress is by setting short-term progress goals. So let's say you have a big goal of getting on point this year, okay? Maybe that goal could be expected to happen in 6 months. How can we take that big goal and then further break it down into smaller sub-goals? So maybe it's something like strengthening your ankles and feet. Maybe it's engaging your core more while you're dancing. Maybe it's having a stronger standing leg. So taking those things that maybe your teachers are giving you or things that you know you need to work on. And then we have these progress goals of achieving, okay, am I working on this? Check. Am I working on that? Check. rather than having a big goal of, oh, I want to get my point shoes, but not really knowing how you're going to get there. We then take those smaller sub goals and then we break it down into a how-to. So how am I going to get a stronger standing leg? How am I going to work on ankle and foot strength? How often am I going to work on this strength? Maybe it's once a week, twice a week, whatever that might look like. So when we have those smaller goals, it actually helps us achieve them more easily and celebrate those wins. And when you are able to achieve those small progress goals, it adds up to that big goal, and then you are achieving that big goal with celebration and confidence and feeling a sense of pride within you because you hit all of those goals and you worked on it and you really, really focused on the in-between stages of the beginning to the end of the goal. So after watching this video, what I want you to do is think about a goal that you're trying to achieve in dance right now, and then start figuring out how you're going to actually track that goal and how you're going to measure your progress. Maybe your progress is not going to be entirely linear, meaning you're not going to keep making improvements each week, but you might be making improvements for the first 2 weeks. Maybe the third week you actually get sick, and the third week your progress dips down a little bit. But then by the fourth week, it starts to go back up. Remember that progress is not fully linear. There are going to be ups and downs, and it's helpful to track that progress so that way you have a sense of where you started versus where you're ending. Even if you are in the middle of training for your goal, you can still look back at that week 1 video or journal entry and see how you are doing from week 1 to week 4, for instance. So my goal for you after watching this video is to think about your goal. Decide how you're going to track it. Maybe it's journaling, maybe it's videos, maybe you're going to map out and calendar map out how you're going to work on the progress and all of those short-term goals. And then I want you to actually take action and commit to working on this goal and commit to those small steps that you are going to achieve every single week or every day, whatever that might look like. Remember to take care of your bodies. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you are new to our channel, please subscribe. I would love to have you a part of the BodyKinect community and learn more about what you need to achieve the best dance technique or dance performance that you need. I'll see you guys in the next one.